Well, Ahoy Cruise Nerds, so I know that little video was probably confusing, to say the least. So Cruise Nerds, I'm going to explain basically what I showed you there. It was the tender process, somewhat of the tender process, as well as a location at the secured location at the pier of Grand Cayman. Now, of course, in the future, all of this could change, but as of this video, this is how it is done. So for Grand Cayman, there is a tendering process. Now, all ashore time as of this recording for the Disney Treasure is 10:30 a.m. That is the all ashore time approximately. And then, so if you want to go ashore starting at 10:30, between 10:30 and 12 o'clock noon local time, if you are going ashore on your own, you would have to go to the Walt Disney Theater deck 3 forward on the port side. And then you're going to get a sticker, just like you would at a portadventure, and then you would sit down until they call you accordingly, row by row. Now, before you go to the tender boat to go ashore, make sure your whole entire family is together. Make sure you have your key to the world card or Disney Band Plus, and a state issue photo ID if you are 18 years and older. Now, for Disney Band Pluses for minors, it would have to be a personal band. It cannot be the one that the Oceaneers Club and or Lab has issued. That one is only for the club and or lab. So those are just a few vital pieces of items that you need. Make sure you have sunscreen. So, because even though it's cloudy, trust me, I know from experience, make sure you have sunscreen with you. Because you might not want to come back by looking like Sebastian, even though we all love Sebastian. Now, in regards to going ashore, you do not have to take towels with you. There will be towels down at the gangway for you to take, but you do not have to take them from your stateroom or up on deck. Now, like I said, in regards to the all ashore process for going on your own, if you want to go between 10:30 and noon, you would have to meet deck 3 forward at the Walt Disney Theater. That's going to be on the port side. Now, if you go ashore anytime after that on your own, you can go ahead and proceed to the deck 1 forward or aft gangways. But just make sure, like I said, you have the proper documentation to go ashore. Also, speaking of proper documentation, if you are going with a minor ashore and they are in a different stateroom, make sure that the PDA form, as it is abbreviated, parental debarkation authorization, is filled out. Now, this can be filled out one of two ways. This can be filled out pre-cruise through the online check-in if you are traveling with a minor, and this will be in the stateroom that the minor is traveling in. So make sure that if you have more than one stateroom, pre-cruise, make sure that is filled out. That will give you less stress once you are on board. Now, if you did not fill that out during the pre-cruise online check-in process, that is totally okay. And especially if you add a stateroom where a family member comes last minute, you might not have time, or you might have a dory moment and not fill it out properly for the cruise. You can go by guest services on deck 4 midship or deck 3, depending on the ship that you're on, that you can fill the authorization form that way, and it is easy to do. Just make sure you do it ahead of time before the first port of call. It will give you less stress before you get there. And Cruise Nerds, I have seen plenty of guests that have spent time at guest services because they need to either update the parental debarkation authorization, or it wasn't done before the cruise, which is okay. It is totally okay. There's a lot of things that you have to remember to bring on the cruise or do before the cruise. So definitely make sure that is filled out. Make sure everyone that the minor that is going ashore is going ashore with the proper guests in your party. Okay, especially if little Jimmy is in a different stateroom than Aunt Minnie, and Aunt Minnie is trying to go shopping with him ashore. Uncle Mickey, who is in the stateroom with little Jimmy, has to come and fill out the form. So just make sure everything is filled out ahead of time, so just in case. FYI, Cruise Nerds. Now, in regards to Portadventures Cruise Nerds, similar thing for the parental debarkation authorization. Make sure it's done pre-cruise or on board the ship. Either way, make sure it's done. And if you want to make sure that it's done, also Cruise Nerds, either way, if you're going ashore alone or Portadventures, which I'm going to go over in a minute, you can definitely go by guest services just to double check. Guest services is open 24/7, so just a heads up there as well. Now, back to Portadventures. In regards to Portadventures, majority of the Portadventures, I would say about 95-98% of the Portadventures will meet ashore at Grand Cayman once you take the ferry boat over to, or the tender boat, over to the Grand Cayman Pier. And it's going to be in a secured location, and they'll have signs, and there will be Disney crew members there if you book the Portadventure through Disney Cruise Line. So definitely make sure that you get there and give yourself time to get ashore if you have not already done so to get checked in. You're not going to get paper tickets for your Portadventures Cruise Nerds. It is going to be on the Disney Navigator app, so definitely make sure that you have the Disney Navigator app downloaded on your phone. In regards to Grand Cayman, when you look at the time or your Portadventure for Grand Cayman, it's going to give you the Portadventure name, the time that you are supposed to meet, as well as location. It will probably say, if you're supposed to go ashore, it's going to say meet at pier. So definitely give yourself, I would say 15, I would say more along the line 20 to 25 minutes to get yourself together, get everything that you need to go down to deck 1 forward or aft and go ashore, depending on what time your Portadventure is. So, because there might be a little bit of a wait for a tender boat to go ashore, and as well as there might be a line to go through security. So just give yourself a little wiggle room there. Now, if you do also have a Portadventure, there's going to be, I would say 5% of the time where it will meet on board the ship. And those two locations that could be a possibility, 9 times out of 10 it will be in Worlds of Marvel. Sometimes it will be in Sarabi. Now, Cruise Nerds, if anything that I've said does not make sense, definitely ask below. That is a lot of information. So that's why I did a little bit of a video, and why I wanted to go ahead and make this vlog a little bit about Portadventures, explanation of where to meet, as well as what the process is like to get to the tender boat and to get ashore. But in the meantime, Cruise Nerds, that is all for this particular vlog. I hope you got some understanding from this vlog and enjoy the rest of the Disney treasure. Now, Cruise Nerds, thanks for joining, and I'll see y'all all real soon on board.